And so when she returns to Jesus and says that of like, I can't live up to this, he says, you don't have to do anything, I just want your heart. Everything. It's changed everything. I booked this role after years of depression. I was about to quit acting. I was about to give up on my lifelong dream. I was completely broke. I was living with my mom. I was just like, I was in a very different state. I was in a state that was relating more to Lilith in episode 1, which is who I auditioned for. And so in that audition, I was able to connect with that. And I wasn't expecting any of this. I really wasn't. I was expecting to like change careers. And then, yeah, I booked it and it's been life-changing. I've been able to like continue this dream of acting. I've been able to play this character that I love so much. This show is constantly moving me. This show constantly points me in a direction that is hopeful and joyful and also challenges me. On the other side of things, of just the reaction from the public has been wild. It's been so enormous, and I just am constantly pinching myself. I still can't believe it's happening in this capacity, but it doesn't surprise me because the way it affects me, the way it has changed my life, I'm seeing how it changes others. So I'm like, of course we're all feeling this together, you know? I was raised Catholic, and it was deep in my sort of culture and my family, and I loved it. And then as I got older, I became more cynical about it and skeptical, and I saw a lot of judgment in religious people. And it just kind of, it pushed me away a little bit. And looking back at that time of my life, that chapter, and I realized how lonely that was, this wanting the sense of community, wanting the sense of fellowship, and I didn't have it. And I didn't ever think that I would have it. And of course, booking this and working on this and actually having this community of my fellow actors, and then of course all of the fans in the around the globe, there is so much love that this is generating, you know? And it's reminding me of what Jesus was actually teaching. And it's not how other people necessarily need to interpret it. It's what he was actually teaching. And this show constantly points me back to that. And I think that's what other people are enjoying as well from it. I feel like she's this wonderful representation of all of us in some way, where she is deeply flawed and doesn't know how to get out of her own hell, honestly. She's trying to figure it out on her own, but she can't. And then she meets Jesus, and there is this transformation that occurs. I think she represents hope for people. I think she represents hope for me of another chapter after you can be in this state of despair or depression, and then there's more. There's more beyond that, and you have to let that go. You have to let go of your past and your shame and your guilt and step into this life of joy and peace. Well, I mean, honestly, I didn't even know she was possessed by 7 demons, which is in the Gospels, and I'm like, how did I miss that growing up? That's dramatic and something of note. Yeah, I didn't even know that, and so, of course, when we meet her when she is possessed. And so the whole version of her in episode 1, I was completely unfamiliar with the possibility that might be her life, or that could have been her life before she met Jesus. And we know that in the Gospels that Jesus expelled those 7 demons from her. I love, though, what the writers are doing with her character. All the characters are sort of taking shape as the versions that we know them as. In acting, I feel like I'm constantly thinking of her. I'm hoping that I'm doing this justice. I'm hoping I'm doing it right for her. And I know that the writers were also really specific and concerned about making sure that her story was told in a more authentic way than it maybe has in other media about Mary-Magdalene. There's been so much speculation about her being maybe a prostitute or Jesus's wife, and none of that is rooted in the Gospels. So they've done a good job of like focusing it on the Gospels, and then of course us trying to make her become three-dimensional and relatable. I try not to think about that because there's a pressure, I think. I hope that people still remember that she was her own person, that this is a historical figure and I'm just representing her. It's a privilege to be able to do this, to be able to portray her. It's an honor that people are responding to it in a way that they're also connecting to her in this beautiful way. But if I think about it too much, I'll get neurotic. Yes. Season 2, we see her as we had just seen her in season 1, where she has been redeemed and is in a very joyful place. About halfway through the season, she starts getting triggered by old wounds and is reminded of a lot of the things in her past. Sort of has this PTSD where she returns to her old ways for an episode because she is triggered and she doesn't know where else to go, and she's almost she's not thinking straight. And so it's this kind of opportunity for the show to share a story of, you're going to slip, you may make mistakes, we're just human, we can't be perfect. And so when she returns to Jesus and says that of like, I can't live up to this, he says, you don't have to do anything, I just want your heart. I think a lot of people are able to relate to that of, I have been saved or I have found Jesus and then I went back to my old ways. Like, that's human. That doesn't mean that you're stuck now and there's no coming back. Like, there's still hope. It's 2 steps forward, 1 step back sometimes, but there's growth in it, and that's what she represents. People get so excited about this because I think they've been hungry for it for a long time. We have so much media and so much entertainment that is really hostile and really aggressive and leaves you feeling maybe traumatized or empty or just entertained but nothing else. The Chosen offers a little bit more than just entertainment. It offers hope. It offers these scenarios and these characters that we can identify with and work through a lot of types of problems, a lot of types of issues. I think it brings a type of peace, but also a little bit of challenge to people who watch it. And I think it's powerful because of that.